Okay, we're live.
We're live. We're back. Hello, everybody. This is the Joseph and Hall Weekly Immigration Update. I am Aaron Hall. I'm here with Rylan Warner and Jennifer Howard today, and we are going to give each an update about what's going on in the world of immigration, and then we will be able to take questions about ongoing litigation or anything else that people wanted to ask about. So, Rylan, do you want to get us started?
Sure. So I saw a story that came out, I think it was a few days ago, about there was a ban on visas for people from Laos, and this is a tactic that the federal government uses a lot when countries are not accepting deportations to their home countries. So, say a person from Laos, for example, comes over to the United States and the federal government decides, hey, they don't really have a good reason to be in the United States. They don't have a legitimate asylum claim, although I bet they might, but it doesn't really matter. To them, they want to get them deported. And if part of that deportation process requires communicating with the native country and trying to figure out a travel document so that they can put the person onto a plane and fly them back to that other country. But it requires work with the foreign government. And so if a foreign government is unwilling or unable to work with the United States government to get that travel document secured, sometimes the US government will say if there is a pattern of this sort of behavior from that foreign government, they'll say, well, then guess what? We are not going to be accepting any more visas to the United States from your country then until you start accepting our deportations. And so this can, obviously have an effect on people that had no choice in the matter. I mean, they are trying to visit family in the United States, or maybe they have I don't know, any kind of reason that they might have to visit the United States, they are now unable to because of this stalemate between these two governments. And so for those people who had probably no choice in how their own government is responding to the US government, it's very unfair to them, and they could be stranded from family members for years as a result. And so this that this was being done to the country of Laos and to a number of other countries, including Myanmar, Burundi, Cambodia, and there was one more, Eritrea. All of which, I'm sure you have heard, have had some complicated history and with governments and some tumultuous things happening in the country. So it would make kind of sense why their government may be unwilling or unable to work with the U.S. government to get deportees all sorted out. So 30 advocacy groups and members of Congress that were spearheaded by Representative Ilhan Omar from Minnesota, they put a demand together to President Biden, requesting that he lift these sanctions. These sanctions were initially put in place by the Trump presidency, but they have remained to today for all the countries that I just said. And I guess the Biden administration, they listened and they decided to lift the visa ban on Laos. So if you have family members that have been trying to come to the United States but have been unable to because they've been unable to receive a visa and they were located in Laos, they might be able to now. I'm sure there's going to be tons of delays with years of no visas being available. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be wanting to come to the United States. So the delays are going to be pretty thick for a second, which is shocker, not new to this field by any means, but just be aware of that. And if you think that you have family members or anybody that might be eligible now for a visa from Laos, feel free to contact our office and we could help you get that sorted out. We could work on it for you. So, yeah.
Rylan, do you know, are there other countries that are currently banned from getting visas?
Yes. Myanmar, which I should know this. Myanmar and Burundi, I think they have a relationship. I'm not entirely sure what the relationship is. I apologize for not being that aware of it. And then Cambodia and Eritrea. Those are all subject to these visa bans as of this moment. I know that Ghana previously was, but they had got that sorted out. And those countries were included on this demand letter to the Biden administration. But so far, the only country that they've acted on is Laos. So they could be possible that those other countries, they might lift the visa ban on them as well. But we'll just have to wait and see on that.
And then Jennifer, I think you wanted to talk about an announcement from USCIS.
Yes. So yesterday, USCIS, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, announced its new mission statement, which is exciting. So the new mission statement is USCIS upholds America's promise as a nation of welcome and possibility with fairness, integrity, and respect for all we serve. This is really great because 4 years ago this month, the Trump administration changed the prior mission statement, which said that the United States was a nation of immigrants and was, welcoming to immigrants, to reflect more of a Homeland Security focused mission statement. And with that, we saw a lot of focus on fraud detection, just some really intense fraud detection measures that I think for a lot of cases are unwarranted. And so we'll actually have a blog article going up about this with more details this week. But yeah, it's kind of exciting to see the language change, and hopefully the day-to-day practices will change with that mission statement.
Yeah, fingers crossed that the change in attitude goes across the agency quickly.
Yeah, and yes. I'm sure there's some cynics out there that'll say, "What does this matter?" And I think it does matter. I think what you're putting out to the public, whether or not you're actually adhering to those values, it still means something. To change a mission statement to reflect valuing immigrants rather than discarding immigrants in the sake of national security. I think it matters. And yeah, with Aaron, I do hope that it actually is adhered to.
Yeah, and I think it matters when it's coming from leadership. So hopefully we'll see.
All right. Well, continuing with USCIS. I am going to talk briefly about the Violence Against Women Act. And the reason that I'm talking about it today is that Jennifer just circulated a policy alert that USCIS put out today with some changes in their guidance on how they adjudicate these kind of applications. So first of all, the Violence Against Women Act is for victims of abuse or extreme cruelty by family members. It does not solely benefit women. It's equally applicable to women and men. Basically, if you have a spouse or an adult child, or if you are a child and you have been the victim of this kind of abuse by a household member who's a U.S. citizen or LPR, then you can apply to get relief under the Violence Against Women Act. And by relief, in this context, I mean a green card. So when it's a U.S. citizen, you can apply that's doing the abusing, you can go directly for your green card. The reason for this is a good policy reason. We want people to not feel trapped in abusive and dangerous situations. And to do that, often, unfortunately, and in our cases, we see sometimes spouses holding their spouse's immigration status over their heads as a form of control and abuse. And so VAWA is a tool that is it's created by Congress to try to allow people to leave bad situations more easily. Specifically, this update, what it does, and it just came out, so I haven't spent a ton of time with the new policy guidance, but I know that it says, I think it loosens the standard on whether a conviction by the applicant, some kind of conviction, is caused or related to the abuse that they were suffering. So oftentimes, like in a domestic violence situation, there are multiple arrests of multiple parties. because each party is claiming that the other did something wrong. And sometimes that can lead to convictions for the person that's really the victim. And the convictions can lead to questioning of whether they have the good moral character that's necessary to win their VAWA case. But the law says that if it's in connection with the abuse they were suffering for these situations, that it shouldn't be counted against them. It shouldn't block them from getting their residence. And this guidance loosens that a little bit and basically says, if there's any kind of logical relationship between the abuse they were suffering and the conviction that they got on their record, you need to take that into account. It also clarifies that stepchildren and step-parents continue to be eligible for VAWA benefits, even if the marriage that created the step-parent or stepchild relationship is terminated through divorce. There are some other updates as well, but we're going to be spending some time with it. And we're excited because I think it appears to be all for the positive, all good changes. And so we're excited for that for our VAWA clients, and we'll certainly be referencing the new guidance. That's all I had. Do we have any questions?
Let me see here. Doesn't look like it. It seems like we're getting off easy today.
We're getting off easy. We're presenting so well that nobody has questions, or else more people are viewing it after the fact and not live, which is fine as well.
Mm-hmm.
But do know that it's every week, Thursday at noon Denver time. If you want your questions answered, often there are questions about ongoing litigation that we're doing, or some of these updates. Then be here when it's live, and you can type them in, and we will address them. So I think that's it. Thanks, Rylan. Thanks, Jennifer. And we will see you next week.
Bye.